through my research, I found out that Lyme disease was very likely something that the American government had brought to an island on Long Island where they were researching biological weapons and most likely accidentally released. So the issue that I would like to talk about is why I knew this when I was like 16 or 17 years old, and why it's only breaking news according to the mainstream media right now. I have one more video for you people about breaking news. You may have recently seen on the news that the government is investigating whether they weaponized ticks. And while it's wonderful that this is finally on the news, what I would like to talk about is the fact that I had Lyme disease when I was a teenager. I was about 16 or 17 years old, actually, and I got so sick from the Lyme disease that not only did I miss months of school, but I had to have injections of antibiotics that were like this long and this wide in my butt twice a day for over a month. But that's not the important thing that I want to say about Lyme disease in this video. The important thing that I want to say is that at that time, I researched Lyme disease on the internet, and I found out that it was very likely, almost 100% likely, that Lyme disease was not something that I had gotten sick from because it was something that was naturally found in ticks, and one of them had happened to bite me. No, through my research, I found out that Lyme disease was very likely something that the American government had brought to an island on Long Island where they were researching biological weapons and most likely accidentally released. So the issue that I would like to talk about is why I knew this when I was like 16 or 17 years old, and why it's only breaking news according to the mainstream media right now. And you don't have to look very far to find out why this has only just recently become breaking news. In fact, you don't even need to read this Fox News article to understand why. All you have to do is click on it and read the headline. Lyme disease expert champions investigation into Pentagon weaponizing ticks. It's a courageous move. There's the answer to the question of why this is just now becoming breaking news. It's a courageous move for a Lyme disease expert to even suggest the possibility that our government might have weaponized ticks. Why is it a courageous move? Just Google Judith Curry and global warming and you'll find out exactly why. She's a scientist who changed her opinion on global warming to believing that it was really happening, to believing that it wasn't, and she made this big scientific presentation about why all the science on global warming was incorrect, and she was vilified publicly by the media. Nobody cared what she had to say. Nobody cared to even look at her science or debate the validity of it. They basically made her out to be a crazy person, like portrayed her as a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist who believes that the earth is flat. She either got fired from her position at the university she was working for or had to resign from it. Basically, she may be a hero to some Republicans who are climate change deniers, but 99% of the people that supported her as a scientist before she changed her opinion no longer support her and now think she's a wingnut crazy person on the equivalent of like a flat earther or something. So the reason that scientists didn't come out and say like 20 years ago that the government might have weaponized ticks and accidentally or unpurposely released ticks infected with diseases like Lyme disease in a way where they could infect the American public is because they didn't want to be treated like Judith Curry. And whether you agree or disagree with global warming, I'm sure you can understand the concept of not wanting to be portrayed as a crazy person publicly in the media and not wanting to have your picture on the front page of some national magazine with a tinfoil hat photoshopped onto your head, like they did to Judith Curry, because they did that to her. So before you discount any information that anyone tries to give to you as being a conspiracy theory without researching it, think about the weaponized ticks, and think about Judith Curry, and also think about 9/11 and how there was never actually an official investigation of it, but there is about to be. So the fact that the Twin Towers were not destroyed by airplanes, but were actually destroyed by explosives, may be the next so-called conspiracy theory that gets reported as a fact by Fox News. But until then, you can read about it on Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truths webpage. What's happening here? It's not clicking. Oh, there it is. Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truths webpage. But if you heard it from me first, don't forget to tell everybody that, okay? Because I really love to break the news to people, even if it's the news from 20 years ago that you just never happened to hear about or thought was a conspiracy theory when you first heard about it. So, when you see this information on Fox News, remember that you heard it from me first. And until you hear this information on Fox News, remember that my video telling people about it does exist. And if you want people to know about it, then you have to share my video. And also like my video, watch my other videos, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.